Today, let's talk about Portugal Tech Visa Program. This is a program that is definitely different from the job seeker visa that I talked about very recently on this channel. So please pay attention until the very last minute or share this video with someone who can benefit from it, because this is one of the most sought out programs, especially for any person who is working in the tech field. And nowadays, there are several other companies that have joined the pool of companies that are employing people from outside the EU, and you can definitely benefit from this information if you are interested in relocating to Portugal. So the Portugal Tech Visa Program is one that was started in 2019 by the Portuguese government, once again trying to bridge the gap of employees in the tech and innovation sector. Now, this program, it has been running for quite a longer period of time if you compare it with visa programs like the job seeker visa, and it seeks to employ people who are in the tech field in most cases. However, like I mentioned, there are other jobs that you can find that are vested within the tech visa program, and this could include things like project management, product management, and things that are not necessarily quote unquote what we think is tech, which is coding. So this is a program that you can take advantage of. So what happens is that the Portuguese government gives permission to certain companies to employ people who are living outside the EU, and they can come and work here. And the benefits of this program is that you can, one, be able to come into Portugal immediately with a job while you are still, in your home country, which means that you actually apply for the job, and if you are successful, your employer will say yes, and they will assist you with the visa program, such that by the time you're arriving in Portugal, you're arriving to begin work immediately. And the beauty of it is that once you arrive in Portugal, the process of getting a residence card is much faster, because basically your employer is sort of assisting through the process with the immigration, now called IMA, with the departure from CEF. And the other beauty of it is that over time, if you have already gotten the job, you have put in your roots here, you have an accommodation, etc., you could potentially have your family joining you in Portugal. So one thing that you need to do, if you're listening to this video and you're like, yes, this is definitely for me, you need to check the pool of companies that are employing using this tech visa program. And this pool of companies, I will leave a link once again on the description box so that you can be able to check them out. And the pool of companies is quite long, and you can be able to go ahead and see which company you might be interested in and do your own due diligence to check this company either on LinkedIn or on their public website and see which opportunities are available in certain companies, and then you go ahead and apply for those jobs. It is no guarantee, obviously, that you will get the jobs for sure. So it needs work and it needs patience for you to apply, keep applying, ensuring that you're putting your best foot forward in terms of showing out your skill set, your experiences. And if an employer feels that, hey, this candidate is amazing and we want to employ them, then they will definitely reach out, do the interview, etc. And if you're successful in the interview, then the employer is going to issue an agreement, and they will also log in your process with the IEFP, such that the immigration can be able to see it, and you can begin the process of acquiring your visa in your home country using this letter, as well as the contract and the promissory contract of a job by that company. And then you obviously would need your other documents, fantastic documents. So you would need your passport for sure. You would need your criminal record certificate. Once again, if you're in Kenya, this is the certificate of good conduct. Then you would obviously need your contract from your employer. You need some fees and your insurance, the proof of accommodation. In most cases, you can easily talk to your employer in this case and ask them whether they have some sort of proof of accommodation. And then you need to also fill in the application form for Schengen visa. And then you can send your documents to the embassy or consulate or VFS, depending on where exactly you are located. This is something that can definitely be done. It can take a bit of time. However, it is deemed that for some, usually this is quite a very straightforward process and could take a minimum of even 2 weeks all the way to a maximum. It could even be 6 months, depending again on where you're applying for this visa and the backlog that might be there and so on and so forth. So now, once you put up your application, you definitely have to wait until it is issued. In most cases, if the employer has already given you a job, then the visa cannot be refused because there is a straightforward way that shows that, hey, this person already has a job in Portugal and is coming to work for this company that has been allowed by the Portuguese government to employ someone outside the EU. Now, once you arrive in Portugal, you definitely have a lot of paperwork to do because one, you will obviously report to your employer that you have arrived and you will start your job, and then you also need to get an appointment with IMA, which is the immigration here in Portugal. However, your employer also can assist you with the appointment because it's not, again, so easy to get an appointment with the immigration. And once you get this appointment, is for you to be able to obtain a residence card that shows that you're allowed to actually work in Portugal, and you can use this residence card against your passport also to travel within the European continent. Now, the paperwork for you to get the residence card is very generic. Once again, it's actually stipulated depending on the article for which you are coming to work with, so you can check the documentation. I will also leave a link down below of the immigration here in Portugal now called IMA, and you can be able to check out the documentation that is required of you when you're applying for a residence card here in Portugal. Now, once you're settled in, like I mentioned, you can always perhaps call your family and you can apply for them a family reunification visa, which could take time. However, this tech visa program also sets you on a path for citizenship, and the beauty of it is that citizenship here in Portugal would take you at least 5 years of you working here and paying your taxes and, you know, paying your social security. And the beauty of it is that there is an update of the citizenship period, for which they now say that they will count 5 years from the first time that you attempt to apply for a residence card, which is a departure from the previous rule where they would count 5 years from the first time they issue your residence card. Now, once you're in Portugal, you definitely integrate into the system and you're able to go ahead and keep working. If you want some tips of where to find accommodation, I have a video once again that I did very recently about places to find accommodation when you're in Portugal, depending on the city that you're going to be working in, whether that's Lisbon or Porto or Faro, wherever it is, really, you can be able to find this accommodation. Now, the tech visa program is one fantastic program just because it really seems to be quite fast and very straightforward. The biggest hurdle for sure is for you to be able to apply a job that is vested within that list of companies that have been given this mandate by the Portuguese government. So not all jobs that you will find out there on LinkedIn or Indeed or whichever other website are going to be within this program. So you do need to ensure that you check. For example, if you find like a job on LinkedIn or on Indeed, you can check against this list and see whether this company has that tech visa program ongoing. Other companies as actually on that list have their program running from a certain year to another year, and perhaps it might have already expired. So it's for you to do your due diligence and do quite a lot of work to see which company would I want to go ahead and shoot my shot in. I hope this information has been helpful to you. Once again, please leave your question or your comment down below as usual, and also ensure that you can be able to join my membership. I've been saying this over and over and over again. I really want to grow my membership on this channel so that I can be able to give you more insight. As you may already have seen, these videos are quite short. They're short guides towards exactly what you need to do in various processes. Having lived in Portugal for quite a long period of time, I do know quite a lot of processes and bureaucracies and tips and tricks and all these kind of things, which is why I share all this information on this channel. So I hope that this information has been helpful to you, and please go ahead, make sure that you subscribe, and until next time, bye.